Hi, and welcome back to DSI Restorations. In today's video, we're going to show you how to make a floor pan.
Here's a jig I made up. This will allow me to press the contour lines into the floor pan toe kick, I guess you call it, yeah. And what those do is they add rigidity to the toe kick so that it doesn't pop in and out. And so we need to recreate those on this panel, on this patch panel that we're making. So what I've done is I've taken the piece of sheet metal that we're going to be working on. All right. Now this one is not the original one that went into the car. We didn't make the video earlier about that. I wasn't even thinking about that at the time. But basically I have a mark here where I'm lining the edge up, and then the mark where the top part will press onto. So I've got a mark. These two are marked with these two lines. Okay, and this is the center line here. So if I line up the center line there, then I check the one at the back and just adjust it. That is the position I want it to be in. And also with the other marks on this side here, let me bring you in on that. You can see the other marks, they line up with the two pins that are here. So that'll give me the position where it needs to be pressed into. So here I've got another piece that I'll test it on, make sure that this jig is working right before I do it on the other piece. So I have two plates on top here clamped to hold the sides, and that'll stop the sheet metal from moving around. So that's pretty rigid in there. And then we'll put our piece on top like so, line it up with the marks that we need. Alright, and this edge here is going to be the edge that butts up with the opposite edge that's in the car that we didn't cut out. So I need to bring this and line it as close as possible as I can to the marks. I believe that's about right there. Okay, and what I'm going to do beforehand is I'm going to preheat the metal so it stretches a little bit easier. Not too much, just a little bit of heat. Get my torch working right. Just to get a little bit of heat there, warm it up a bit. It stretches a little bit easier. You don't want to get it over a golden brown. That's about 300, I guess, 300 to 400 degrees, something like that. Just heat it up a little bit. And with all the metal up, I went a little bit over. Okay, with all the metal around here, it's going to suck up the heat anyways. So let me take our plate here. Put that into place. Line it up here. Careful not to touch it because it's hot. Okay. Now, because we need to reach in there, I'm going to use another piece of metal here. These ones are a little bit tall, so I've got to get something else in here. This piece right there. Be delicate with it so that it doesn't move. There we go. And if we do this right, it should press down on here nicely. Okay. Adjust the top here. So let's try this out. Hopefully it'll press straight down and not flip off on us. Am I having the right position? Huh. Mistake already. Always double check before you keep going. forgot to do is to bring this plate forward as much as possible. So that it presses right on the edge. Let's go a little bit more here. There we go. Still roughly in line. Come on. There we go. There, that's better. Take that up. Bring this up. And let's see if this will do exactly what I want it to do. I can feel it crushing and dragging. Give it some good tension. Have a look at it. I'm off a bit. Nuts. Okay, let's see if we can get it some more then. More stretch. That's better. Like down here. Where is it? There we go. We can see our press is working and it's formed it. Now, this is just a sample piece to show you how I did this. And it's best to make a sample piece first so that you can ensure that your jig is working correctly. All right, so let's take this out of here. Let me just give it another squish down. Won't go anymore. That's it. That's probably good enough. So there's the form of our two runs in the floor pan, the curves that we have. It's a little bit sharp here. Maybe I shouldn't have pressed so much, but it turned out pretty good. Again, this is just a sample piece. Now you notice here that it crushed it down too. What I had before was another plate on the jig that would prevent this from happening. I just wanted to show you this. So if I had that plate there, I could have, had that flat as well. The two side plates held this pretty well. And you can always manipulate it to stretch it out a little bit there. Here, we can always correct it, but we're not going to on this piece here. So that's the form that we want to see. Okay. Again, if I had a piece back here, and added in a piece at the back there, this wouldn't have happened. So it's something you have to consider when you're doing this kind of work is every step. The sides we got to stay flat with the press. The edge here, we didn't because we didn't add that piece of metal in here. Reason it's not in here anymore is I've used this for something else, but big deal. Anyways, that's how you make that bumps in the floor pan. Alrighty? Now at the bottom of the floor pan, there's going to be a curve, so we can actually correct this and save it by compressing it in the vise here. That, raise it up a little bit for our measurement for where the curve is going to be. So now we'd have to make a bend in it to bend for the floor. So we just simply bend it over like so and get it to the distance that we want it to be. And there's a curve of the floor right there. So this protrudes a little bit, but that can be corrected by repressing this again. But that's basically, the toe kick right here. So it is a little bit high here. But we can put that into the press again and repress that down to get rid of that. Let's sit right like that. Take this piece here. And now for the noisy part, get a hammer. Just take the hammer here. Try it out. There we go. So now we've flattened that down a bit. I don't know if you can see that, so that's flattened down there. Let's try this end, see if I can get a better job on that. So now we've corrected that, so it's not protruding as much. Obviously you want to try to get it better than what I just did, but it's pretty decent. So that's what it looks like. And You'll see the piece that's in the car later.
2 floor pans were made for the driver's side and the passenger side floor. They're then welded into place and sprayed with self-etch primer. The rest of the floor is then cleaned up and ready for painting. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing for future content just like this one.